And I remember you reminded me of one of our dear friends, Pakiso, and we were just shopping. We were in South Africa, and we were talking about Israel. He's a businessman, right? He's a very successful businessman. He's got multiple businesses. Him and his partner Sparkly, and we might even have him on here, or Sparkly maybe on a future one. And we were talking about Israel and Pakiso.
Yeah.
You know, besides the fact that it's a very common and plain fact that the vast majority of Africa is very pro-Israel, very Zionist. And that because most of Africa is Christian and they know their scriptures, right? So there's already a basic like Zionism that's there, very foundational. But on top of that, when it comes to politics, modern day Israel, he was like, most Africans aren't that invested in the politics. Like most Africans don't really care on that level. So all of this, like, you know, Africa for Palestine, BDS, and trying to paint like South Africa as a country that's trying to champion the Palestinian cause, he was like, it's just not existent here. And this is coming from someone, he's not a activist for Israel. He's just looking at this saying, it's very manufactured. It doesn't really represent most of the country. Go ahead, Elvin.
And one thing that I just want to make clear when we say that is we're not saying that the war doesn't deserve any attention. We're not saying that Jew hatred doesn't deserve any attention. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that there are problems that Africans have of their own. And so what's happening is, instead of taking care of their people's problems, and it's exemplified by the African National Congress as well as by the economic freedom fighters, at this point in time, instead of taking care of the needs of their people, they've now jumped on the bandwagon as they stand solidarity with the plight of the Palestinian people to the detriment of their own. One of the calls that the EFF made, that's the acronym for the Economic Freedom Fighters, last week, is they gave one of the outlets, it's a shopping outlet, a grocery store outlet in South Africa, it's called Woolworths. And Woolworths sells a lot of goods, a lot of groceries that come from Israel. And they put out a call to say the goods that come from Israel need to be removed from the shelves. And if they're not removed from the shelves, then the EFF is going to send people and they're going to basically vandalize the stores. I've seen TikTok videos, I've seen WhatsApp videos going around of Black people calling out the EFF and be like, wait, so you want to take our food away from us? Like, we have a food issue, we have an electricity issue, we have an education issue, we have an employment issue, and you further want to take these things away from us, our basic bread and butter away from us, because you are hopping behind on some bandwagon of supporting a people who've got nothing to do with us. So stop scapegoating the fact that you've been irresponsible leaders to the African people, more specifically the South African people, but I can say this, I'm sure, about many other governments as well as political parties across the African continent. So now they are priding themselves and taking up a cause for the benefit and the prosperity and the livelihoods of another group of people. Meanwhile, they've forsaken their very own at home.